We're back. It's Memorial Day, Monday, the 26th of May. Sunday. Oh, it's Monday, not Sunday. But we got the laundry going. Didn't do it yesterday because my cousin's going out of town. I live with my cousin. She had to do hella laundry. Then my other cousin came over because she lives with my mom. And that laundry machine is broken. The topic for today is going to be what I think your 20s should be focused on. If you're a young man in your 20s, single, in a relationship or not, just a man in general in your 20s, even a woman too. But I can never speak for the woman's experience because I'm not a woman. But yeah, I believe in your 20s, in society in America, it goes high school, college, wife, baby, and you're usually like set up before you're like 25. But I don't understand why it's like an unconscious race to this point, this wife, baby, house facade, you know what I mean? Or reality. I'm not going to call it facade because it's very real. Reality. Because in my head, that place everybody rushes to, the house, the wife, the baby, before they're 30, that's the same place essentially you would get anyway if you just like stayed in shape, continued to do the next right thing, and like just went to work every day and did what you're told. So I don't understand the big importance of it. I think it's a lot of people in America taking advice from their parents or people they think they're supposed to be taking advice from. Unless like your ultimate dream in life was to like be that and do that, then by all means, that should be your path. But for the most part, I feel like many people have bigger dreams and bigger goals. And for the most part, I believe most people can feel it innately inside of them that they're built for more. And it has nothing to do with like even being built for more. It just comes down to experience. And speaking for men in their 20s, I believe a man needs to experience life. He needs to go through life. He needs to understand, reflect, introspect, create his set of morals, his set of principles, and basically create his standard, because eventually you will have a kid and you will have a family, and that's what you'll teach him. But for the most part, the life cycle of a man, you're surrounded by other men and other kids, like in elementary school, surrounded by friends, middle school, surrounded by friends, high school, surrounded by friends. You have a sense of independence. And then college, and it's the same thing. And then right after college, most men are just engulfed in a relationship. And you don't really have time to decide and decipher who you are, what you stand for, and you know what I mean? What your standard of life is, what your program is, what your morals are. You know what I mean? Up until that point, you're basically just been doing a bunch of stuff you were told to do. You haven't really went out on your own and got a chance to experience. And it's like many people have talked about, it's called the hero's journey. It's like an innate feeling inside of a man, like by nature, we have this feeling that we should go off and, go through trials and tribulations and come back and bring the lessons to our people, our family, our tribe. Because genetically, that's the lifestyle of a man. Genetically, that's how most men lived, Back in the days, like there wasn't this settle down type thing. A man worked his entire life. A man would go off and hunt with the tribe and the warriors for weeks and months and then come back. And, then he would be able to be with his family, be with his tribe until it was time again to go off on another journey. And I believe it's important because I see too often a lot of men get to this place in their late 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, and they realize they haven't really done anything they ever wanted. They haven't really done anything for themselves at the end of the day. So it's important for us to have this experience as a man. But I do understand, like, I don't understand it, but I see it way too often how men go through life, they get to this point, and then they get to their 20s, even women more so too, like this internal clock starts ticking, and they feel like they're late for something, or they feel like they're behind the 8 ball, and like everyone starts trying to keep up with the Joneses. And by all means, like, it makes sense and I get it, but there's no reason to just, like, in my head, it feels like a lot of people are crashing out for this relationship or this baby or this house or just this like white picket fence life. And majority of the people I see doing this, less than 20% of them have the experience that I have in life. And majority of the people doing this are the same people in my DMs asking me and questions about life and asking for advice about life. But it's like I only have so much wisdom and know so much about life because I've lived a long life. I've lived different versions of life, and I've lived these versions of my life alone. And when I was alone, I was able to be with myself and be with my thoughts and actually come up with reasonings, systems, programs, morals, principles that are designed for me and designed by me. Like, I have real life experience and data for exactly why I am the way I am. It's not just me doing something I was told or something I heard someone else say that I'm just going to repeat. Like, everything I do is because I've experienced it, and I know better than, I know what the opposite gets me. So that's why I live this way, because I've lived the opposite so long. And it goes back to that statement about obtaining versus becoming. A lot of people are out here just trying to obtain a wife, obtain a car, obtain a kid, obtain a house, when that shouldn't be the case. You should be focused on becoming the person worthy of that car, becoming the man worthy of that job, becoming the person worthy of that type of woman or that type of man, and becoming the person worthy of whatever salary you desire, or becoming the person worthy of whatever house or lifestyle you want. Because like I said, if you just continue to stay in the gym, stay sober, and do the next right thing, all those things will come. I feel like a lot of men are like settling for like it's a lot of men I see like settling, like the women they're with now compared to like the women they used to be with. It doesn't add up to me. It does not add up. And it's a lot of settling going on, in my opinion, you know? A lot of people, like, by all means, if you're happy, you're happy. But I see people who I know, like, the type of lifestyle they're living, before that didn't make them happy. And maybe, yeah, they changed, but it's very evident they changed in a way that, what's the word, like, degressed or regressed. You know what I mean? They didn't elevate in this change. But at the end of the day, it's all subjective. You know, what makes you happy makes you happy. It's 2025. It's not 1975. I don't think you don't need to be like married in your 20s and just like going to work and coming home to your wife. There's way too much going on in the world. You know, it made sense in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 80s, 90s a little bit, because there was a different life. It was a slower paced reality, you know? There wasn't much to do besides going to work and coming home, and like things were cheap, and you know, things weren't as expensive as they were today. And it's very evident the way the world's going, it's just going to continue to get more and more expensive in America. So, and I know you can never plan for a baby, but you could definitely make sure you have more money in your bank account. You know, you could definitely make sure you're well off. You can definitely make sure you don't live with your mother. You could definitely make sure you have a car. You could definitely make sure like the baby's like yours and it's not, you know, another person's baby. But by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. I was a stepdad when I was 17. I was taking care of another man's baby when I was 17. And by all means, if you're going to do that, you got to do it. You can't like half-ass it or 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's not my kid. You know, that's just me. That's just my opinion and my stance. That's how we do it in Gilroy. Like any dude that gets with a girl who's got a baby daddy, it's like, bruh, like these are my kids now. Like, please be respectful to her and me and my family. By all means, yes, these are your kids, but bro, like, these are my kids, you know? And that's just how I think a man should be when he does decide to take on a woman and her kids. So yeah, that's just what I've been thinking about a lot lately, because like I see it going on so much around me, and it's like I could feel the pressures of the external world trying to like, finesse me into that situation, but like it just doesn't make sense to do right now. Even though I am 28, I turn 29 next month, but I don't feel like it's time for me to be married with a kid or just going to work and coming home to my kids and stuff. Like I don't, that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't even make sense in my head. But at the end of the day, it is a different reality for me because I'm like, I truly believe you see the world different when you're in the best shape of your life. You believe more in yourself and you believe more in the external world to grant you anything you want. And this is what happens in America. I call it unconscious settling. Like no one knows they're settling or thinks they're settling, but unconsciously they settled for like exactly where they were going to be. Like if you just waited until you had more money or until you were in better shape or until you had more of the things and more of the experiences you wanted, you're going to get a wife, you're going to get a car, you're going to get a house. You know what I mean? As long as you just stay in shape, don't let yourself go and go to work, like all that will come. Like it's not hard to work. Like it's not, like a job is easy. You go there, you do what you're told, and then you clock out, and then you just repeat it every day. Even if it's a family business, it's more so easier if it's a family business. I worked in a family business for 8 years, and for the most part, like I didn't really it took no brain power to do it. All I had to do was show up, and I just kept learning what I needed to learn necessary to elevate in my family business. And then once I couldn't elevate no more, I just put applications into a higher position at a higher company. And now I do that. And I just go to work and do what I'm told. And then it just takes care of itself. So it's not really, it's not hard. It doesn't take too much like brain power to go to work and like be good at your job. So that's why I think if you're a man in your 20s, don't let the external and what everybody else is doing like affect like your mindset or affect like your path, especially if you're after a goal, you're after a dream, you're after a vision. You know what I mean? That's the blessing, bro. Like the fact that you have a vision is a blessing, bro. The fact that you see yourself doing something greater or doing something different than everyone else is a blessing. And even when it gets hard and it gets slow and you're not seeing no results, that's exactly the motivation, because there's so many people out here in this world who have settled without even knowing it. There's so many people who don't even believe they could do anything different than what they're doing right now. They don't believe they're capable of more, and they don't even want more. They're okay with where they're at. Where they're at may not be bad, but they don't understand they're capable of so much more. They could have exactly everything they've ever wanted, but they've decided to go down this route that everyone else is doing. They decided to be just good enough. And it's 2025, bro. You don't got to be just good enough. You could be exactly what you want to be. You can have anything you want in this world. Any dream you have could really come into reality as long as you stay open-minded, stay willing, and you do the next right thing. You want to make music, you want to rap, you want to make content, you want to start an online business, start a brand, clothing brand. You could do it, bro. Like, there's more proof than there's not. You know what I mean? So, and like, I'm not saying you're not going to be able to do all that with the wife and kids, but I've yet to see any of my friends achieve any dream or goal that they've had since they've had a kid and since they bought the house. I have zero friends. All my friends who are doing what they want, they have no kids and they have just a girlfriend. They're not married. They are in great relationships. They have no kids and they're able to still have time to attack your goals and attack your dream. I'm not saying don't fall in love and don't be with someone, but it's just like, it has to make sense, like don't crash out for a relationship just because you're turning 25, 26, 27. Like I didn't even think about getting married till I was 26. I'm 28 now. And I could have got married like 5 times since I was 26 if I wanted to, But it just didn't sit right with me. It didn't seem right. It didn't seem like that's what I was supposed to do. It didn't seem like that's what God wanted for me, So I say all that to say, bro, like go all in on your dreams. Go all in on your goals. I promise, like God's not going to stop making women. He's not going to stop making men, and if you just don't let yourself go and know how to talk, like you should always be able to like attract a woman and talk to a woman and get to know a woman. A lot of people I feel like are like like, it's like this internal clock has them thinking they'll really be single forever. Like, people are really believing, like, if they're 26 or 25 or almost 30, that they'll be single forever. Like, I'm 28, I turn 29 next month. I got no doubt I'm gonna have a wife and a kid whenever that time comes. Like, it doesn't, single forever doesn't even fathom in my head. Like, I can't be single forever even if I tried. Like, it's just not in my DNA, in my makeup. Like, I'm very well spoken, I'm charismatic, I have no problem talking to women, I'm jacked, I have tattoos, I have gold hair, like, I have a job that's decent enough to take care of me and someone else if I chose to. Like, so I don't worry about that, you know what I mean? I just focus on my program and my dreams and my goals, and I just let life happen around me. And once you get dialed in, you become very transparent in who you are, and you have a program that keeps you in your wellness and keeps you from breaking character. It's very evident, you know, what's real, what's fake, who's lying, who's like keeping up with the Joneses, who's just doing things so they look a certain way. So you really don't got to believe all the external stuff, bro, because most people aren't showing you what's really going on. The only people who really show you what's really going on are the people who post every single day. If they don't post every single day, it's because they're showing you just the good stuff that they think or they feel is post-worthy, and the rest of their life they don't feel is post-worthy for whatever reason. That's between them and God. So don't believe everything you see on these apps, on social media, because it's not really the truth. More times than not, that shit is fraud. That shit is a persona. The success rate for marriages is like 75% of them end up in divorce. If they were like, yo, there's a 75% chance fucking bowling balls are gonna fall out the sky, you wouldn't fucking go outside. You know, like, I'm from California, 75% chance of rain. Motherfuckers are staying inside, bro. So it doesn't really make sense, you know, and that's just the ones that are like documented, you know what I mean? So the number's way higher than that. And they say if you make it to 30 single, you've avoided your first divorce. So it's all perspective, it's all subjective, it's all about what you want, you know what I mean? So, but if you're a man in your 20s, bro, like, give yourself grace, give yourself mercy, have patience, bro. Like, you're not late. There's no fucking clock. Like, you're the only one in charge. This is your life. You can do whatever you want. And create a life you want. Design it exactly the way you want, bro. You can do this shit exactly the way you want. It could go exactly the way you picture it in your head. You don't gotta settle for something that everybody else is doing. It's gonna be harder. It's gonna take longer, but like, that's the blessing, bro. That's what's gonna make it worth so much more in the end. So yeah, follow me at StayDownFit_Ray, RAYE. Follow me at Bay Affiliated. We got a dope podcast coming with Overflow Tap, Chris Sid. He don't got a personal IG, but follow him at Overflow Tap House on Instagram. They don't have a YouTube yet. But yeah, big things coming. Staying consistent with the program, staying consistent with the content. DM me on here. Leave a comment on this video or on one of the shorts if you're interested in mindset, fitness, and nutrition training. I've been working with the best guys in the industry to create the best program for my community. It's summer. It's not summer, but we got like a month until summer, so there's still time to get right. There's still time to get in shape and like feel better about yourself going into the summer. And this is the perfect time to do it because you can build the habits and build the program that'll take you into the winter and prepare you for next summer. So we're out.